the last class. Who is going to tell me about it? What is the difference between urban and rural consumers? First, and the second, that we completed 2 topics, right? Exim policy, exim bank, and NHB. Who is going to tell me about it in short, in brief? Raise your hand. Priya, tell me.
Exim policy is also known as foreign trade policy, and it is regulated by the Foreign Trade Development and Regulation Act. The objective of exim policy is to promote the growth in export to acquire at least the 1% of share.
In international trade, right? 1% of share in the international trade, yes.
And to improve the technology for the productions of Indian agriculture, and to supply with the fine quantitative goods and services to the consumer in global.
Very good, very good. So this is the basically these are the objectives of exim policy, export and import policy. Okay, it is also known as foreign trade policy, and it is like foreign trade policy में जो है recent का जो policy है, that is of the 2014 to 2019, right? जो foreign trade policy है, that is made for 5 years, and 5 years में that is amended. मतलब हमेशा amend होता रहता है, ठीक है, continuous way में. And the recent one is of the 2014 to 2019. Okay, this is exim policy. Now, what is the role of Exim Bank to regulate the international trade? What is the role of the bank? Export-Import Bank. Who is going to tell me about it? Yes, Priya.
Ma'am, Exim Bank is, ma'am, its main policy, the main objective of this policy is to provide loans.
It is not a policy, beta, it is a bank. Okay.
Yes. To provide loan to the provide loan facility to the exporters, and it also provides short-term loans. Then it gives the rediscount in bill.
Okay, Priya, good. Yes, Abhijit, tell me.
Ma'am, it was launched by the Act 1981, and it gives loan facility and credit facility to the exporter and importer, and it change the bills of exchange and some types of bills,
bank instruments, and some type of
bank instrument for the monetary transaction issuing.
Very good.
And easy to convert in money and discounting the bill.
Very good. But it is also work for the liquidation, right? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. Who is going to tell me what is the difference between the urban and rural consumer? What is the difference between urban and rural consumers? Whatever we discussed in the last class, not last class, before that, tell me what is the difference between rural and urban consumers mindset? Who is going to tell me about it? Anyone? Raise your hand. Market research. What is the meaning of rural market research? इसके बारे में पढ़ते हैं. What first of all, what is the meaning of research? Research is something that is systematic. Systematic way में हम कुछ data को collect करते हैं, analyze करते हैं, कुछ conclusion withdraw करते हैं. ठीक है? तो that is basically research. मतलब उस पे हम वापस से search कर रहे हैं. Something which we are repeating, we are doing something in a systematic way, scientific way. So that is known as a research. So rural market research क्या होता है? उसके लिए 2 lines आप लोग लिख लीजिए. लिखिए. Rural market research में लिखिए. The systematic design, and one more thing I just want to add on, that there is some specific designs or procedures which is defined for the research work. ठीक है, एक procedure, एक outline, एक structure जो है वो ready रहता है for doing the research work. So write the systematic design, comma, collection, systematic design, comma, collection. What kind of collection? Data collection, right? The systematic design, comma, collection, comma, analysis. Analysis, here we are going to do the evaluation as well as we are doing the comparison between the different data, right? So the systematic design, comma, collection, comma, analysis, analysis, and A&D, and reporting of data, and reporting of data, and reporting of data and findings, reporting of data and findings relevant to a specific marketing situation, relevant to a specific marketing situations facing by the company, in rural market. The systematic design, comma, collection, comma, analysis and reporting of data and findings relevant to a specific marketing situation, facing by the company in rural market. So we all know that the research is something, we find something, findings milega, reports ready karenge, conclusion withdraw karenge. And why the research required? The question is this: क्यों research चाहिए? क्यों करना है research? Common सा question है. Why we need to do research? To find something new, to contribute in the society in the positive way. When we'll find something, we are able to solve the problem as well. For example, in the rural market, we all know that it is not as such developed like the urban areas, but still what we can do there, we can collect the data, but the data should be the relevant one. And the way of collecting the data is from the two way. The sources are two, the primary data and the secondary data. The primary data क्या है, secondary data क्या है, उस पे हम आएंगे. लेकिन क्या होता है research? Research एक systematic design है, साइंटिफिक तरीका है. पहले हम कलेक्ट करते हैं डेटा को, फिर एनालाइज करते हैं, कुछ फाइंडिंग्स होते हैं, फिर हम रिपोर्ट्स रेडी करते हैं. आप लोग कभी भी इंटरनेट पे सर्च करोगे रिसर्च पेपर, यू विल गेट फ्रॉम द गूगल स्कॉलर multiple papers you will get on the research. So many people are doing research work, and even we are also going to do research work in PhD, right? So in short, in the rural marketing concept में अगर हम बात करें तो जो मार्केटर्स, जो रिसर्चर्स होते हैं, जो मार्केट रिसर्च करते हैं, जो आपके स्पेशलिस्ट होते हैं इसमें, वो क्या करते हैं बेसिकली, वो रूरल मार्केट से डेटा कलेक्ट करते हैं, उसको एनालाइज करते हैं अलग अलग कंपनीज का, एंड फिर कुछ फाइंडिंग्स मिलता है, एंड दैट इज रिलेवेंट फॉर द टेकिंग द मार्केटिंग डिसीजन. मार्केटिंग डिसीजन में नए प्रोडक्ट को लॉन्च करने में, नए प्रोडक्ट की प्राइसिंग सेट करने में, प्रोडक्ट के डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन में, रूरल कंज्यूमर्स को समझने में. सो दिस इज रिलेवेंट फॉर एवरीथिंग, फॉर ईच एस्पेक्ट. मतलब ये सारी चीजों में वो क्या काम आता है आपका, मार्केटिंग रिसर्च. क्लियर हो गया? सो बेसिकली वी आर डूइंग रिसर्च टू गेटिंग कंक्लूजन. इन शॉर्ट, कंक्लूजन के लिए हम रिसर्च का काम करते हैं. एक सिस्टमैटिक तरीके से हर चीज को प्लान करते हैं, डेटा को गैदर करते हैं, रिकॉर्ड करते हैं, एनालाइज करते हैं, ठीक है, एंड उस प्रॉब्लम्स को देखते हैं, क्या प्रॉब्लम है गुड्स में, क्या प्रॉब्लम है सर्विसेज में, रिस्पॉन्ड कैसा है कंज्यूमर्स का आपके प्रोडक्ट के लिए, व्हाट काइंड ऑफ रिस्पॉन्ड दे हैव, ठीक है. सो हाउ वी आर गोइंग टू गेट द रिजल्ट ऑफ दिस. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, मान लीजिए कि प्रिया, शी स्टार्टेड अ कंपनी and she started selling the kurtas, for example, just imagine. And unfortunately she is not able to get the profit. Now the question is that if she planned everything, if she launched everything in the proper way, the fabric is fine, the price is okay, but still why the people are not going to give the preference, why they are not giving the preference to the kurtas, right? So how we are getting the answer of this question? For this, what we need to do, we need to do the market research, we need to do the customer survey as well, that what kind of problem they are facing with this product and why they are not adopting it. So we have to do the market research. And for the rural areas, because now the urban market is saturated, the companies are moving toward the rural areas, so before launching any product they need to do the market research, right? And sometimes they are doing research of not for their company, मतलब अपनी कंपनी के लिए रिसर्च तो करते ही हैं, साथ साथ में कंपैरिजन के लिए दे आर आल्सो टेकिंग द डेटा ऑफ द अदर कंपनीज। ठीक है, तो चलिए इसको तो समझ में आ गया व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ रूरल मार्केट रिसर्च। सबको क्लियर हो गया रूरल मार्केट रिसर्च क्या होता है? मार्केट रिसर्च से क्या क्या फायदे हो सकते हैं आपके? मार्केट एरिया को हम एनालाइज कर सकते हैं, कंज्यूमर को एनालाइज कर सकते हैं, प्रोडक्ट डिमांड को एनालाइज कर सकते हैं, कंपटीशन को देख सकते हैं, राइट? सो ऑल दीज काइंड्स ऑफ थिंग वी आर एबल टू गेट थ्रू द रूरल मार्केट रिसर्च। डन? क्लियर? ठीक है। Now, what is the rural marketing research process? What is the process? There are some steps for that, that how we are going to collect the data, how we are going to make the report. In the final step is like conclusion and recommendations, we can say. So what are the various steps? Write one by one, what is the steps? लिखिए क्या क्या है rural market research process. So what is the first step? What is the first step? Defining a research problem. The first one is defining a research problem. So here, defining a research problem, like what I said, that there is some problem, like जैसे Priya जो थी वो sale कर रही है कुर्ता and that is not, she is not able to get the profit. So this can be the problem, that she is not able to earn the profit. So return जो है वो नहीं आ रहा है, so that can be the problem. So in the first step, before doing the research work, core research work, what we have to do, we have to analyze that what kind of problem is there in the market. Market में क्या problem है, what kind of problem the companies are facing. So the first step is defining a research problem. Defining a research problem. ठीक है, the first one is defining a research problem. The second one is finalizing a research design. Finalizing a research design. The first step is defining a research problem. Okay. The first one is defining a research problem. The second one is finalizing a research design. Finalizing a research design. Research design को finalize करेंगे. Developing a research hypothesis. Third point is developing a research hypothesis. Hypothesis is something where we can use the conditions, that what kind of thing will be happen if we'll do this work, right? What kind, मतलब that is a kind of the comparison यहाँ पर होता है, कुछ questions आप raise करते हो और उसके आंसर को ढूंढते हो, hypothesis. ठीक है, अगर ऐसा होगा तो like the fourth one is planning the research methodology. What kind of method you are going to use? Like there are so many type of methods: qualitative, quantitative, descriptive, exploratory, right? So we don't need to understand each and every terms, like an explanation नहीं करना है, but just learn it. Like the third one is to develop the research hypothesis. Research hypothesis को develop कीजिए. Then the fourth one is the research methodology. Developing a research methodology. रिसर्च, कौन से रिसर्च मेथड को आप यूज करिएगा रिसर्च करने में, व्हाट काइंड ऑफ मेथड यू आर गोइंग टू यूज. देन द फिफ्थ स्टेप इज डेटा कलेक्शन. नाउ यू आर गोइंग टू कलेक्ट द डेटा फ्रॉम द वेरियस सोर्सेस. ठीक है, बहुत अलग अलग जगह से यू आर गोइंग टू कलेक्ट द डेटा. once the data is collected, now you have to do the data analysis. So the first step is defining a research problem. The second one is finalizing a research design. Third one is developing a research hypothesis. Fourth one is planning the research methodology. Fifth one is data collection. Sixth one is data analysis. And the seventh one is conclusion and recommendation. Like finally, you will get something, whatever for जिस चीज के लिए research करो, what you are getting in last conclusion. Okay. Now, this is the steps of the rural market research. The next point is that what are the various sources? यानी आप कहाँ से आप data को collect कर सकते हो? What are the various sources for collect primary data? Let me explain you before writing. सुनिए, कभी भी कोई data अगर हम raw, मतलब किसी person से जब हम data लेते हैं, ठीक है, जब हम सर्वे करते हैं, क्वेश्चनियर्स करते हैं, इंटरव्यूज लेते हैं, तो दिस इज अ प्राइमरी डेटा, जहां पर हमें डेटा फिल्टर होके नहीं मिल रहा है, डायरेक्ट डेटा हम कलेक्ट कर रहे हैं. बट इन द केस ऑफ द सेकेंडरी डेटा, वी आर ऑप्टिंग दैट डेटा फ्रॉम द डिफरेंट सोर्सेज. लाइक हमने नेट से देख लिया, इंटरनेट से देख लिया, हमने मैगजीन से देख लिया, न्यूज़पेपर से कलेक्ट किया. सो दीज आर द सेकेंडरी डेटा. ठीक है, पहले ये डेटा किसी ने कलेक्ट किया, उसको कन्वर्ट किया न्यूज में, एंड देन वी आर गेटिंग इट एंड वी आर कलेक्टिंग इट. So that is secondary, and the primary data is something that is the first hand data where we are the only person who is collecting that. मतलब हम लोग ही सिर्फ उसको collect कर रहे हैं और हम लोग उसको use करेंगे for the research purpose. We are not taking the help of any other mediators like the newspaper, journals, television and all. So what is primary data लिखिए इसमें. Primary data क्या लिखिए. तुम लोग सब बच्चे जो भी हो सब. What is primary data, right? Primary data is a data. Primary data is the data which is collected first hand, spatially for the purpose of study, ठीक है. आगे लिख सकते हैं. Primary data is the data which is collected first hand, especially for the purpose of study. The second आप लिखिए, आगे लिखिए इसमें, that primary data is the original data. Primary data is the original data. Primary data is the original data collected by researchers, collected by the researcher first hand, collected by the researcher first hand, collected by the researcher first hand. यानी कि जो प्राइमरी डेटा है वो ऑब्वियसली दैट इज द ओरिजिनल डेटा. वी डोंट यूज एनी काइंड ऑफ मीडिएटर्स. वी आर नॉट टेकिंग हेल्प ऑफ एनी अदर. कुछ भी ऐसे बोल सकते हैं न्यूज़पेपर, ये सब की हेल्प हम लेते नहीं है. वी आर कलेक्टिंग इट. हम खुद से उसको डेटा को कलेक्ट करते हैं. लाइक बोला था मैंने, कंज्यूमर सर्वे, दीज आर द पार्ट ऑफ द प्राइमरी डेटा. ठीक है, मतलब वो एक रॉ डेटा होता है, रॉ डेटा जो हम कलेक्ट करते हैं. एंड द सेकेंडरी डेटा क्या होता है, दैट इज अ फिल्टर डेटा. ठीक है, जो बेसिकली किसी ने कलेक्ट किया डेटा और उसके बाद फिर उसने अपने लैंग्वेज में इंटरप्रिटेट करके उसको फिर आपको डेटा को लिखा या फिर जो भी न्यूज, खबर, इंफॉर्मेशन उसको दिया. सो नेक्स्ट वन इज सेकेंडरी डेटा. एंड एक चीज और बता दूं, प्राइमरी डेटा जो है उसको कलेक्ट करना दैट इज अ, मतलब एक बोल सकते हैं इसमें टाइम कमिटमेंट बहुत ज्यादा हाई है, बहुत ज्यादा टाइम टेकिंग है. Second one is that is costly as well, महंगा भी है. And third one is like इसमें आपको skilled होना चाहिए. The person who is asking the question, the person who is taking the interview, that person is a skilled person. ठीक है, so we can say that the primary data जो है वो हमारे लिए expensive data है. ठीक है, next one is secondary data. Secondary data. Secondary data. सेकेंडरी डेटा क्या होता है उसको लिख लेते हैं थोड़ा सा. ठीक है, तो लिखिए, सेकेंडरी डेटा इज द डेटा हैव बीन, सेकेंडरी डेटा इज द डेटा that have been already collected by and readily available from other sources. Secondary data is the data that have been already collected by and readily available from other sources. ठीक है, ये जो डेटा होते हैं, these data are cheaper, ठीक है, and more quickly obtainable. यानी ये हमें प्राइमरी डेटा में हमें क्या करना पड़ता है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, इफ वी हैव टू कलेक्ट द प्राइमरी डेटा इन द रूरल एरियाज ऑफ बिहार, व्हाट वी कैन डू, लाइक फॉर एग्जाम्पल इफ वी आर गोइंग टू द दानापुर एज वेल, वी हैव टू गो देयर, we have to ask questions and all, we have to do the telephonic conversation, we have to visit that place. In the primary data we have to basically उस जगह पे जाना पड़ेगा, मतलब all these things, this is the lengthy process. But in the secondary data, what we can do, we can just open the internet and we'll get the data on any topic, right? So we can say that the secondary data जो है वो आपका cheaper भी है, बहुत जल्दी उसको obtain भी कर सकते हैं, that is obtainable. ठीक है, and साथ साथ में वो primary डेटा जो होता है वो इतनी जल्दी obtainable नहीं है, इसको इतनी जल्दी हम obtain नहीं कर सकते. We have to basically give the time for collecting the primary data. Clear हो गया? So what is the sources of data? There are two sources, primary and secondary. Clear? सबको clear हो गया? Everyone? Yes. Piyush, tell me. What is primary data and secondary data? चलिए बताइए मुझे. Yes, Priya.
Primary data is the data which is collected for the first time. It is costly, it is time-taking data, and the person who collects the primary data, maybe they are knowledgeable about that skills, and
okay. Yes, Ashutosh, tell me about secondary data.
And secondary data are those data that is collected by the person on the internet medium, and it is already collected by some other person, and they only go and incur that, and it is cheaper than the primary data. And in secondary data, they did not incur more time, and in secondary data, the person is also
Okay, good. Both of approaches क्या है rural areas में. Let's move toward this topic. So many rural people, they are not aware about the market research. True. And with this kind of like, अगर उनको idea ही नहीं है, so market researchers जो हैं, they are little bit feeling hesitation, suspicious. They are feeling so many problems when they are taking or collecting the data from the rural market. ठीक है. Although बोल सकते हैं हम जो respondents होते हैं, who are going to give the answers of the questionnaires, like they are totally, मतलब कह सकते हैं urban area से, they are obviously they are totally different. And इस केस में मतलब अंडरस्टैंड करना, समझना बेसिकली इम्पोर्टेंस ऑफ रिसर्च, तो इसके लिए एजुकेशन देना रूरल एरियाज में बहुत जरूरी. Before you are taking the questions, before you are asking questions, you have to tell them that why you are collecting the data. So just give them some relevant point. Okay, you have to justify that why you are taking the basically research work, why you are doing, why you are conducting the research work in the rural market. Okay, so what are the types of the rural studies? वहाँ पर मतलब कौन कौन टाइप की rural studies होती हैं? So the first जो है, that is the quantitative studies. Quantitative studies where basically we are going to get the things in numbers, right? मतलब पैसा नहीं बता रही हूँ, numbers बता रही हूँ, right? जैसे उसके बारे में सुनते हैं क्या है इसमें quantitative. लिखिए सबसे पहले टॉपिक, types of rural studies. Rural studies. Types of rural studies. So the first one is the quantitative studies. क्वांटिटेटिव स्टडीज में क्या क्या रिजल्ट्स होते हैं? ऑब्वियसली न्यूमेरिकल फॉर्म में होगा. ठीक है, यहाँ पर सिंस मतलब कह सकते हैं कंजप्शंस ऑफ मोस्ट ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट्स आर लो इन द रूरल एरियाज, so the markets are under development. Quantitative studies cannot be done for the most of the product, like क्योंकि quantitative studies में हमें चाहिए कि consumption level rural areas में बहुत ज़्यादा high for products. So sometime we can say in the rural areas the consumption level is low. ठीक है, the penetration level, the market share is low. So in short we can say that we cannot able to get the quantitative basically जो quantitative आपका study है, that cannot, we are not able to do this on every product. ठीक है, तो इसमें लिखिए quantitative studies में, quantitative studies में लिखिए rural types of rural studies में पहला point है quantitative studies. Quantitative studies में लिखिए since penetration and consumption of most products, since penetration and consumption of most products are low, the market is under development. Since penetration and consumption of most products are low, the market is under development. The market is under development. The development हो रहा है. Hence quantitative studies cannot be done. Hence quantitative studies cannot be done for most products. मतलब in rural areas we cannot do the quantitative studies on most of the products because the consumption level is low. The market is developing but it is still underdeveloped, right? Next one is the Next one is qualitative. Yes, and more market share. मतलब ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा market share के लिए we are using the market penetration. मतलब market penetrating pricing strategy भी market penetration when we are increasing the share of the market. मार्केट बढ़ाते जाना, एक्सपैंड करते जाना, एंड दैट मार्केट बढ़ाना, the market penetration as well as the consumption of the product is very low in the rural area. So that's why we cannot able to use the quantitative studies for the every product. Like the consumption level is not equal for each and every product, right? Consumption level हर एक product का equal तो है नहीं rural areas में, that is even low. For example, I already told you for the luxurious product, the consumption level is very low in that. So we cannot able to take the quantitative data for each and every product. Clear हो गया अभी जी?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the next one is the qualitative. Next one is the qualitative. Just wait for a sec. Yes. Right. Qualitative. Qualitative studies में क्या हो सकता है? What we can do in the qualitative? Qualitative is something related जहाँ पर number collect नहीं करेंगे, but we have to write in the theoretical way about the conclusion. So यहाँ पर क्या क्या आएगा? That we can use the 4A concept. 4A's concept याद है? What is the 4A's concept in the marketing? याद है किसी को भी?
4 P's था ना मैम?
That is acceptability, affordability, awareness, and availability. So we have to basically analyze these 4A's of the rural marketing. The first one is acceptability. It is related with the adoption of the new product, that how we are going to accept that product. Okay. If the profit is low, the sales are low, the demand is low, it means that the people are not able to accept or adopt that product easily, right? And for the acceptability, what we are doing the awareness. Obviously हम क्या करते हैं? We are doing the promotion. Okay. So acceptability related with the product, affordability, like how much the people are willing to pay for that product. मतलब कितना लोग willing करें देने के लिए और कितना लोग afford कर सकते हैं. So the question is affordability, and we all know that the rural peoples are economically weaker as well as they are the price sensitive. So in that case, what we can do, that affordability उनकी कितनी है, कितना पैसा दे सकते हैं. Because of the affordability reason, the Hindustan Unilever, the ITC, and the Procter and Gamble, P&G, what they did, these three companies, they started selling the product in the small quantities, right? So because of the affordability only, that the rural people can also buy this product. So 2 rupees ki life boy, that is available in the rural market. 5 rupees ki Maggi, that is also available in city as well. But still, these kinds of products are more sold in the rural market. So the question is here that we have to analyze for the qualitative studies. First of all, we have to analyze the 4A's. Now the acceptability regarding to the product, how the rural consumers are going to accept the product. I already told you about the sturdy product. ठीक है? Affordability, कितना पैसा दे सकते हैं, afford कितना कर सकते हैं. Now the question is awareness, like how much the people are informed about that product. कितने जागरूक हैं, कितना knowledge है उनको product के बारे में. See, the urban people, if we are even purchasing the mobile phone, we search a lot. We are getting the information via, even we are getting the recommendation of friends, relatives, and all. So through these kinds of things, we are aware about the product because of the advertisement, promotion, and social media and all. But what, they are also getting the same kind of information in rural areas, I'm asking. No. So how we are going to aware consumers, rural consumers? Now the next one is that how we are going to available those products. Here the company is talking about the distribution strategy of the product. Distribution कैसे करेंगे? So like I already told you that the most of the FMCG company, they are using the intensive distribution strategy. Intensive का मतलब हर जगह product को available कराना. So यहाँ पर हम distribute कैसे करें, product को consumer तक कैसे पहुँचाएं. So we have to analyze these 4A's first. ठीक है, इन चारों A को पहले हम देखेंगे रूरल मार्केटिंग में. Then what we can do, we have to do the 2 more thing, that is U&A and CAP. U&A and CAP. U&A क्या है यहाँ पर? Basically uses क्या है, मतलब consumer कितना product को use करता है, uses, as well as what is the attitude of the consumers. Now the question is, what is attitude? Attitude is something where we are giving the preference, yes or no, that we like this product, no. We like this product, yes. So this is a kind of attitude. This is a kind of response of the people. So here, we have to analyze the U&A, मतलब attitude, belief, uses. अच्छा, belief थोड़ा सा आगे है. ठीक है, U&A यूज करेंगे, मतलब उनका यूजिंग कंजप्शन पैटर्न क्या है, कैसे कंज्यूम करते हैं प्रोडक्ट को, कंजप्शन पैटर्न, उनका एटीट्यूड क्या है, उनका बिलीफ क्या है. कैप का मतलब क्या था? KAP, कैप. इट्स नॉट CAP, इट्स KAP, कैप. कैप का मतलब है नॉलेज, एटीट्यूड एंड प्रैक्टिसेस, ठीक है, यानी वहां के लोगों को कितना नॉलेज है प्रोडक्ट के बारे में. सो वी आर गोइंग टू डू दिस इन द रूरल मार्केट फॉर द क्वालिटेटिव डेटा, ठीक है. एंड कुछ प्रमोशनल एंड कम्युनिकेशन चैनल कैन ऑल्सो बी यूज. एंड आई गेस आप लोग को मार्केटिंग मिक्स तो पता ही है, व्हाट काइंड ऑफ प्रमोशन टेक्निक्स आर यूज्ड इन द रूरल एरियाज, है ना. So we can use the two terms, the quantitative studies and the qualitative studies. Now the one more thing is there, that how we are going to collect the data in the rural areas. मतलब rural area से कैसे लेंगे, तो विलेज चौपाल से ले सकते हैं, वहाँ के रिटेल आउटलेट से ले सकते हैं, मेला फेयर से ले सकते हैं, हर्ट्स झोपड़ी, ठीक है, हर्ट्स. So we are going, how we are going to basically take the data from the rural people. So we are going to study about this in the next class, that is sources and methods of data collection in the rural market. See, normally we know that data to दो तरीके से collect होता है, primary and secondary, but here we are talking about the primary data collection, that how we are going to collect the data in the rural areas. The चौपाल से ले लेंगे. चौपाल पता है ना क्या होता है? I'm not talking about e-चौपाल, I'm not talking about चौपाल साकरा, I'm talking about चौपाल. पता है क्या होता है? क्या होता है चौपाल? Anyone have any doubt? Okay, so see you all in the next class. And